Hello, I'm Andrew, and welcome to our fifth Dwell Devotional, a weekly reflection on what we've been hearing together as we've used the Dwell app to spend 30 days listening through the Psalms and the emotion-laden and truth-filled songs of the Bible, which teach our hearts how to cry out to God. Are you weary of waiting? Waiting for life to get back to some sort of normal? Waiting for your marriage to just get better? Waiting for the sharp pain of your sadness in this moment to dull and to fade, or maybe just waiting for those kids to take a nap so you can rest too. I don't think any of us enjoy waiting. We want what we want right now. I want my sons to obey me right now when I tell them to stop making a mess. I want my takeout to be delivered to my door right now when I order on my phone. And I want to be able to process through the end of my grief right now as I miss seeing my family. But we all know that life, it is full of waiting, and it rarely happens right now when we want it to. And we try to protect ourselves from deferred desire and disappointment by filling up all of this space that waiting creates in our heads and our hearts with distraction and busyness. And if we can't find the true peace or control that we want right now, we try to manufacture it with emotional shortcuts and instantly gratifying diversions. This week, the Psalms ask us, will we wait for the Lord? Will we courageously sit in the unknown and the unfinished and the unanswered and hope in God? Will we wait for the Lord? In Psalm 130, it's this psalm of ascent, one of the traveling songs of hopeful anticipation that God's people would sing on their journey up to Jerusalem to worship God at the temple. The psalmist in Psalm 130, he's waiting. He's waiting to get to the end of his journey. He's waiting for an answer to a vulnerable prayer, asking God for help. And he's waiting for the forgiveness that will bring healing to his soul. And in the space of not yet having what he wants right now, the psalmist says in verses 5 and 6, I wait for the Lord. My soul waits, and in his word I hope. My soul waits for the Lord more than watchmen for the morning, more than watchmen for the morning. Waiting for the Lord, it puts us in this place of humble desperation. It means letting go of our soul's side hustles to satisfy ourselves on fully hoping in God to be our provider and the satisfier of our souls. Waiting for the Lord, it takes time and intentionality. It means going to God first, stopping what we're doing, talking with Him about what we're feeling and fearing, and then hoping in Him to make things right. It means continuing to go to God throughout the day, meeting with Him in prayer and in His Word. And in verses 7 and 8, the psalmist encourages us to wait for the Lord because God has proved Himself as faithful and trustworthy, saying, O Israel, hope in the Lord, for with the Lord there is steadfast love, and with Him is plentiful redemption, and He will redeem Israel from all his iniquities. We may not see it or understand it or feel its effects, but God is working out His good plan in our lives. It's worth waiting for the Lord because He does a far better job than we ever could of delighting our souls with steadfast love and bringing beauty out of our ashes with plentiful redemption. On the other side of waiting for the Lord is life. Not a manufactured, distracted, shallow imitation of life, but the real, vibrant, abundant life that comes from following and loving God. This week, let's wait for the Lord in the unknown and the unfinished and the unanswered. Let's humble ourselves under God's mighty and gracious hand, casting all our cares on Him. And let's find ourselves lifted up and being made new by our Creator and King. For a lot of us, yesterday, it was the last day of our Through the Psalms 30-day listening plan on Dwell. And if you're still working through the Psalms plan, a few days behind when we started, don't worry. You've got some time to catch up if you'd like, or just to go at the pace that's good for your soul. And starting this Friday, April 24th, we're beginning our next listening plan, as we're going to spend 30 days in the Gospels, coming face to face with the person and ministry of Jesus so that we can relearn how to walk in His way in this new normal that we're all navigating. You can easily find the Gospels in 30 Days listening plan by clicking on the Plan tab on the bottom menu of your Dwell app, scrolling down to the 30-day plans section, and then swiping over until you see our plan. If you've been watching these devotional videos, but you haven't gotten started with Dwell because you didn't want to be behind on the listening plan, now is the time to join in. as we begin another 30 days listening to God's Word together. You can follow the link below to access the Dwell account that we have gifted you. This week, let's wait for the Lord. Let's set aside distractions, set aside busyness, and fix our eyes on God as our hope in all of life. I'll see you next week for episode 6 of our Dwell devotional. Be blessed.